All right, hello everyone. Kirby here to teach you a Pilates fusion class. We have Megan, who's graciously going to be demonstrating the exercises as I cue them. And we have Rue that makes sure that we keep it contained and keep it together generally. Okay, so as usual, we're going to start just lying down on our backs. I'm going to do this part too. All right, so taking your legs out to straight, and you can let your toes turn out, or if you feel like you prefer to bend the knees and let the knees knock in towards each other, letting them support each other's weight. That's another option. You could bring your hands down onto your pelvis, onto the lower abdominals, or take your arms off to the sides. In essence, you just want to get into whatever comfortable shape you can find that allows you to soften into the ground, without any real judgment about it. So if you need to have one knee bent, your shoulders up in your ears, if you need to lean a little to one side with the head or the other, take some time to just listen to your body here and allow yourself to soften. And since it's always helpful to get our focus on the breath first, let's inhale deeply and just let the belly rise. As high as you can, puff up, let your back widen. And on your exhale, get as heavy into gravity as possible, letting your shoulders drop back, letting the ears feel heavy. And again, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, the pelvis just drops, your heels drop, shoulders can even gently round in. And do that a few more times, scanning through your body for any points that are holding tension, whether it's just tension from this morning or tension that you hold often. And let yourself relax. One more breath there. Inhale deeply and exhale all the air out. Rue's going to get into her cubby. Okay, let's take the arms overhead and take the legs all the way out to straight, and you're just going to stretch out as long as possible. So reach through the fingertips and toes. You can stretch them apart, wiggle them around. Take a big breath in and get your shoulders way up into the ears. And then as you exhale, tighten the navel in gently so you're pulling that energy into the center of the body. And again, just do that inching right side, left side, whatever you need to create that decompression through the body. And exhale, draw the navel in, and we'll do that one more time. Inhale deeply, wiggle the fingertips and toes and light them up. And then exhale, navel into the spine. Okay, we're gonna pull the right knee straight into the chest. Hold onto the shin with the hands and just give it a firm hold. So right here, allow your arms to support the entire weight of the leg and do a few circles with your ankle and foot. So just big circle. Stretch the toes apart, curl them over. Anything that needs opening there, you kind of want to do this movement in a way where it fatigues the foot, so you know you're hitting your tight points, your weak points. Go the other way a few times. And then steadying out the foot, you're going to pull that knee deeply into the chest again, but a little bit closer to your right shoulder. So allow it to soften into the outer rib cage. Feel the front of your hip crease deepen. So if you know you hold a lot of tension on the hip joint, on the hip flexor especially, let this just fold into that tissue. So we're going to keep hold of that knee with your left arm. Take your right arm out to a T. Reach out with the palm up, and then take it into an easy twist. So pulling the right knee over to the left and wrapping across. Let this translate however you need to. So you can soften your left leg, that's straight on the floor, keep that more relaxed, turn your head to either side. And you want it to also be an active stretch. So as you inhale and reach through the right arm, exhale, tighten the abdominals to increase the twist. Try not to let it be too much about jamming onto the knee with that hand, but actively pull from your center body. Do that one more time. Inhale, deep breath into this right side rib cage, opening up. And then exhale, tighten the navel into the spine. Okay, and then we're going to bring that back to center. Take both legs out to straight, both arms overhead again, just reaching through, opening up, and then pulling that left knee directly into the chest. Firm hold with the shin, and hug it right into the chest first. Roll the ankle a few times, so circling through, opening up through the toes. Good, again, doing that in a way where it fatigues the foot a little bit, wrapping across and over. And then just letting that foot get steady, pull the knee a little bit out to the left shoulder, outside of the rib cage, softening that hip crease. Let your pelvis drop heavy on this next breath. You're going to take that left arm out to a T and let the knee go over to the right. Opening up, again, whatever suits you with the head and neck. So you can look to either side. This is about opening up some tight points in your body. You take that breath that widens across the chest. Exhale, activate the abdominals, and then twist a little farther. It's supportive with the hand, not pushing with the hand. And one more breath with that. Inhale. Exhale all the air out. And then bring yourself back to center. One more time to reach the arms overhead, legs out to straight. Just get that big stretch, open it up. And then take your arms right up to the ceiling and down by the hips. You're going to reach the fingertips down to the heels. Make fists with the hands. Shrug your shoulders up into the ears. So if there's some tension in your neck, feed into it, tighten, get some heat there. Reach the fingertips to straight as you exhale, slide the shoulders down, reaching for the heels. 2 more with that. Make it kind of dramatic with the tension. Shoulders up, make fists. Exhale and reach down. We're going to do a few more. Inhale up. I want you to feel the muscles that are activating underneath the shoulders as you slide down right around the armpits and the ribs, knowing that that's going to allow you to open up the neck better. Do that one more time. Inhale up. Exhale and slide the fingertips along. Now you're just going to press your shoulders back, widen across the chest, press the palms, forearms, all the way down into the mat. Bend the knees in so that your feet are flat and they're about hip distance apart. So let's generally keep that about 2 to 3 inches apart, kind of narrow, straight out in line with the hip bones. Pressing the shoulders back, let's just get into the mobilization of the pelvis first. So you're letting the tailbone drop on your inhale. Just let your tailbone drop forward, almost like you're going to arch your lower back off of the mat. And then on your exhale, draw the navel into the spine. There you go. So you're going to exhale, draw the navel in, imprint down to the low back. Inhale, let your tailbone drop. Repeating that maybe 7 or 8 times, just taking the time to initiate from your abdominals to imprint. What you want to look for here is that you're not letting the legs activate. You aren't pushing into the feet. This is all about that deep hollowing abdominal tension. So you deflate the abdominals down to activate that lengthening through the low back. You want to feel that that allows you to release pressure off of the hip flexor also. The more you tighten in across the inside of the hip towards the navel, the less work you have to put on the front of the hip there. So let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under. And you'd want to start to steady out the head and neck so it doesn't move around and you're independently moving the pelvis. Exhale, tuck under. Good. And then letting your pelvis just find neutral. Take a big breath in. Going into pelvic curl. On your next exhale, tuck the tailbone, imprint the lower back down into the mat. She's okay. And articulate up into a bridge. So tucking tailbone under when you're ready and rolling up into high bridge. Good. So this is a beautiful bridge. We're going to articulate it a little bit more. Let's take a breath at the top, inhale, gently pressing the head back into the floor. And then on your exhale, roll down, articulating through the spine line. So I want you to press your upper back down and roll one vertebra before the next all the way down. Good. Ironing out every single little bit of that. Perfect. Let your tailbone drop. And then the only difference I want for the next one is when you roll up, initiate like you're kind of like you're peeling a piece of tape off of the mat. So on your exhale, tuck the tailbone under and let it be one vertebra before the next. You got it there with the tuck. And then you let the legs kick in. Good. And roll all the way up into that bridge. The points you want to pay attention to here, especially if you have a pretty mobile spine like Megan, is to not overextend. So holding this position, let's check in that the front ribs kind of weave in and together. So you could exhale and tighten those front ribs down to create more length through the back. Holding the hips up. You want to maintain length through your lower back. So initiate to the lower abdominals to tuck under. Essentially what you're looking for is your pubic bone to be higher than your hip bones, which allows the pressure to come off of the lower back and makes you kick in more into the glutes and hamstrings. Inhale, when you're ready, exhale, roll down, press the shoulders back, elongating through all sides of the neck, perfect. ironing out the back all the way down to the tailbone. Let the pelvis drop, let it be heavy. Exhale, tuck the tailbone to roll up. So you're going to go through that about 3 more times. Rolling up, lifting the hips high. Good, inhale. Exhale as you roll back down one bone before the next, all the way down to the tailbone. So let's do 2 more with that. Rolling up. You get to the top, you open the chest. Now let's pause and just check in with the lower body. Press into the base of the big toe to make sure that the knees are still narrow. So generally with the lower body, we're trying to activate wrapping in towards the midline. The upper body, we want to wrap open and back. Exhale, rolling all the way down, just keeping those big toe mounds pressing. We're going to do 1 more and hold and bridge. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, rolling all the way up, and just pause right up at the top. Okay. Keeping your pelvis tucked, press the shoulders back, ignite underneath the shoulder blades. Lower your hips about 1 inch, Megan. So if you feel like you were overextending a bit through the lower back, you would just dial it down so that you don't feel any pressure through the lower back. We're going to alternate lifting the right leg up into tabletop on your exhale. So exhale, lift the right knee up, tabletop, and you're just going to bend it so that the knee is right up over the hip and the knee will be bent at 90. So go ahead and pull up a little higher. There you go. Perfect. And the knee stays at that shape. Place that foot down on your inhale and then just lift the left leg up, same manner. There you go. Inhale, lower down. Exhale and lift up. Perfect. Inhale, lower down. Exhale and lift left. What you're looking for on this movement, you can keep going at your own pace. You're initiating your abdominals to lift the leg up, trying to avoid over-engagement of the hip flexor, and then you're also working with trying to stabilize the pelvis. You're going to feel that your hips want to wobble around, that standing leg wants to wobble around. Make it kind of ninja-like and stealth with that movement. You're just lifting up and bringing it down, smooth, steady, and quiet through the movement. Exhale, lift, and bring it down. Because ninjas do this movement so often. 1 more with the right, and take it down. And 1 more time with the left. Perfect. And then bring that foot down. Level out the hips, take a breath. You're going to bring your arms right up to the ceiling and hold. We're about to roll down, but bring the arms right up to the ceiling. Hold it there, inhale, and then exhale, roll down. 1 vertebra before the next, perfect, all the way down to the tailbone. Okay, just let your knees drop side to side, kind of like it's rinsing out. They can just rock over to the right, the left. If you need to hang on one side, you can. And let that unwind. Okay, bringing your legs back to center. We're gonna bring the arms back up to the ceiling. So holding the arms right up over the shoulders. So this is where if I came in, pushed your hands, you would resist it. You want to ground into the shoulders, draw them back and down. The fingertips are reaching, there's intention in that position. Before you lift the legs up, find that connection of gently tucking the tailbone and drawing the navel into the spine line so you already know where you're going to lift from. And then float the right leg up into tabletop and float the left leg up. So tabletop, go ahead and bring the hips down. Tabletop is knee right up over the hip and shin parallel to the floor, and then left leg will come up in the same position. So both legs will be up, hold it steady here. From this position, take a breath in, and on your exhale, deflate the abdominals down even more so that you're grounded through the low back, and this is what we're going to be challenging on the next movement. With this tension down, on your exhale, extend the right leg out to about 45 degrees. When you do that, you're exhaling, so you're trying to pull the navel in against that movement. Inhale, float the knee back in. Do that on the left side. Exhale, reach out. Inhale, back in. Now, you don't have to do a breath out through the mouth. I'm using that to add effect to it, emphasis. You do want to make sure that you're fully breathing in and out and emptying out on the exhale to your comfort zone. So again, what you're looking for in this position, you extend the leg out, and the longer that the leg reaches away from the center of the body, the more you engage the center of the body down. So the toe pushes out, but you're creating opposition in the movement. Inhale in. The exhale breath helps to emphasize that abdominal connection. Inhale in. We're probably going to do about 6 to 10 more here. You could involve the upper abdominal area more, stabilize around the upper body more by taking your arms almost halfway back to the floor. So if you reach your arms farther back, holding there, perfect, and continue with the legs, now you've involved that need for stability around the shoulders. So you're reaching through the arms. The angle Megan has hers at about a foot off of the ground, that's ideal. And that requires that the ribs tighten down and together. So you don't want to let the ribs bust up towards the ceiling, but keep that anchor. Let's do 3 more here. Reach through the left, exhale, inhale in, reach through the right, inhale in, last one left. Bring it in and hold it here. Now bring the knees and feet together. They're still going to be in tabletop. And sometimes in tabletop what will happen is that the feet will start to elevate or drop. So just check in every so often that you still have that line of shins parallel to the floor. Squeeze the feet together and sweep your arms right out to a T position, straight out from the shoulders. And we'll turn the palms up, but ground the arms into the floor. So holding here, just stay in this position. You do want to look side to side and make sure that your hands are directly out from the shoulders here. What you wouldn't want is anything higher than the shoulder. You want to keep that connection underneath it. Your legs are one unit. Squeeze the feet together. Squeeze the knees together. Keep the shoulders down. Inhale, sway the knees over to your left. And that's going to mean that the right hip elevates up off of the floor. Keep the right shoulder down. And then exhale, pull back to center. Let's keep going side to side so you can go to the right. Inhale, exhale and pull back. Okay, so smooth and steady with the tempo. Exhale, draw back to center. Inhale as you sway over. Exhale, back to center. Keep going with this. Now, when you pull back to center, you want to resist with the center leg. So you'll sway over to the right, inhale, resist with the left foot against the right leg to activate that oblique more, which is really what we're looking for here. Inhale, sway over. This can be a small movement with still plenty of effect and benefit. So working with the control of the shoulders, staying down. Back to center. Let's do that again to the left. Inhale, exhale, center. Again to the right, inhale. Exhale, center, and hold it here. So we're going to add to that. Before we do, take advantage of the positioning of the arms. Open up the fingertips as wide as you can, still pressing the back of the hand into the floor, and try to get that thumb back into the floor. So what happens at the palm can affect what happens at the shoulder. Open that up. All the way out through the fingertips, they are vibrant. Need a little break there? Drop side to side. Let yourself go. And that's a good cue to always take a break when you need it. Part of what we're working with here is just working with control. So control doesn't necessarily mean that rigid, controlled, tight tension, but the ability to work where we're intending, what muscles we're intending, and release tension that we would like to release. So if you feel like you're overdoing one certain part of your body, if that position really gets your hips and legs ignited, then take a moment, reset so that you can put your focus back into it and enjoy the process. Okay, legs are going to come back up into tabletop. And all we're going to do is sway over to the right on the inhale. So let's go over and just hold it there. Keep the left shoulder down and then extend the legs out high on the exhale, reaching towards the ceiling. You're going to sweep straight to the ceiling, pause, bend back into tabletop. And you can just point the toes on this one. Inhale, go over to the left. Extend the legs out, exhale, sweep to the ceiling, pause, bend back in. Keep going side to side. You might not go as far. You're adding a lot of weight when you extend the legs out, so you could keep the range of motion smaller, perfect, and bend back in. Inhale over, toes stay matching. Reach through that right foot, exhale, bend back in. One more time on each side. Inhale to your right. Exhale, reach out, sweep to the ceiling, bend back in. Last one over to the left, inhale. Exhale, reach, sweep, bend in, and hug your knees into the chest. So just give that a firm hold, little rock side to side. Reset that however you need to. If hip flexors do get tight for you, you could widen the knees, and that can help that tissue soften. Just let it go for a second. Okay. So next up, we're going to bring the legs back up into tabletop. Arms are going to go straight to the ceiling. Let's get into some abdominal curls. Legs are up, feet together, knees together. Just keep them as one unit for now. Arms go straight up to the ceiling. Take a moment to elongate through the back of the neck. Keep the chest open. On your exhale, curl up head, neck, and shoulders. Hands hover down past the hips. So exhale, reach, perfect. And then inhale, arms to ceiling and lower. Just a little slower with it. Exhale, curl up, reaching down past the hips. Inhale and lower down. Good. Now while you continue, I'm probably going to do about 6 more here, you want to make sure that your knees and feet stay steady in space. And that's more of a reflection of the pelvis. So as you lower down, inhale, keep the knees steady. If I only saw your feet, I wouldn't know that you're moving. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, arms to ceiling, reach back and lower. 2 more on this one. As if I'm going to start counting now. I'm not a good counter. If you've been to my class before, you know that. And exhale, curl up. Lifting up head, neck, and shoulders. Good. Inhale, reach up and lower. We're going to do 1 more and hold it. So exhale, curl up and pause, lifting off of the shoulders. Hands go behind the thighs, and I want you to hold the back of your legs and use that as a little bit of a boost. Yeah, perfect, to lift off of your shoulders more. So where you get to fidget around and find a really strong curl. You're going to maintain that lift. Bring your hands interlaced behind the head and hold it there. Completely interlace the hands at the base of the skull. Increase your curl more up off of the shoulders, but push your head back into the hands. So you get the support for the neck, but that little pressure on the back with the head going into the hands should activate through the low belly more. So you want to feel that connection. On your exhale, legs stay steady. Twist up and over to the left with your torso. So you're going to rotate torso over to the left, wrapping into an oblique twist. Yes. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, over to the right. Good. Inhale, back to center. Feet steady. Twisting side to side. You can keep going as she takes a break. This is a different part about having someone do the movements for me, is I'm like, well, my gauge of how hard this is might be a little off. Anyways, keep twisting side to side. What you're looking for is that you're curled up off of the shoulders and then adding the rotation from that curl. Perfect. Let's do 3 more here. Exhale, over. Stay curled if you can. Come through center. Exhale, over. Inhale, center. Last one, over. And center, and then just take a break and let everything go. Knees drop, rinse it out, take a few deep breaths here, and let that tension release. Good. Okay, pull your knees into the chest, and just rock side to side for a breath or 2. When you're ready, we're gonna rock up to seated, and we'll be switching around onto hands and knees. Check that we are still recording. Okay, good. So now, coming up around hands and knee position, and checking your points. So you're gonna bring your hands right underneath your shoulders and knees right underneath your hips. And that's important that you get that alignment because it'll make a difference in a few of the movements. So with Megan, I would just have her slide her knees up maybe an inch or 2, and that should allow her spine line to find a neutral position. We'll get to more movement in the spine in a moment, but for now, narrow your knees in so they're only about 2 inches apart. Good, and feet with that. Okay, so we're gonna mobilize into the shoulders and upper back. Keeping your arms straight, straighten through the head to the neck and through the lower back. This looks good. Keeping the elbows straight, sink between the shoulders on the inhale. So you're gonna let your shoulder blades pinch together, drop through that. Exhale, push through the hands and lift the space up to the ceiling. Do that several times, and what you want to try to avoid just yet is not rounding or extending the spine. So what she's going to do now is keep your spine straight and just move from the head of the shoulder. So you inhale, sink down, let your shoulder blades pinch together. Exhale, push up. Isolating the movement only through the head of the shoulder, you'll find your back wants to round, it wants to arch. We'll get into that in just a moment, but for now, move through the head of the shoulder. So sinking down, elbows straight. Exhale, push up as high as you can, even higher. Higher, higher, there you go. Inhale down, exhale, lift. 1 more time, inhale down, exhale, lift up and hold. Okay, so arms are strong. We're gonna get a little more energy through the lower body by pressing the shins down, tops of the feet down, and then go into a cat stretch. So exhale, draw up through the navel, curl. Let's go the other way first. So curl up, round, hold it here. Activate through the low belly so that your lower back is elongating, and then take that forward into extension. So press the sternum forward, open up across the chest. Exhale, curl into the spine line, rounding up. Inhale, neutral, and extend forward, open across the chest. She's okay. Exhale, curl up. In this cat stretch today, let's look for stability over, well, not over mobility, but to balance mobility. So even though when you curl up here, it's going to be really easy to round the upper back, let that happen, but emphasize the stretch through the lower back and the neck. When you go into extension, it's going to be easier to drop through the lower back. Focus on opening the chest, yeah, and extending through that. So let's do that one more time into flexion, curling up, and then go into your extension and holding that extension, broaden across the collarbones, and then find your neutral spine, holding with a straight line. I'm going to have Megan draw her knees in another inch towards her hands so that that line is straight underneath her hips. Okay, so imagine like you're holding a plank here. So you are pushing into your arms are strong, core is engaged, you're pushing your knees down, shins down, feet down. From head to tailbone, you are long. So if it's possible to pull more length here, in whatever way seems natural for you to go for it. Okay. Take your right leg, extend it out behind you to hover off of the floor. So you're going to straighten that leg low. Perfect. Now we're going to work with this hip extension. So I want the knees straight, drawing the abdominals in. Lift the leg as high as you can, but note if you sink in the lower back. So if this dips down, not hip extension, lower back extension. So I want to feel the glute and hamstring engage and the abdominals engage. Holding there, push that toe back, keep that strong. Push into both arms first, and if you feel steady with it, take your left arm and reach it forward. Reaching out, but the same idea applies with the upper body. So you wouldn't want to drop into the standing shoulder or the ribs. Basically, if you push down your standing arm and leg more, and then reach out, you're going to get more stability through your core work. Taking one more breath here, reaching long, maybe lifting higher. Work the transition as part of the exercise. The hand comes down, the knee comes down, and we'll reset that with a curl. So the knee can come down to where it was, you curl up into your spine line, round and drop the head, and let's go to neutral, and we'll do that on the other side. So starting with the leg low, she's gonna take her left leg out to straight and hold it there. Make sure your knee is straight, get your arms reinforced, and then lift the leg up, holding that high line. Okay, so we've got that length through the lower back. You also wanna know that your pelvis doesn't dip over to the right. So keeping your hips squared to the floor, if you notice that your left hip opens up, bring that back to level. Once you've got that strong, take your right arm overhead if you want to add that on this side, reaching out. Push down more into the standing arm, standing foot, lift the abdominals up away from the floor, a little higher, pull up, and then reach longer through the reaching arm and leg, maybe higher. Take one more breath in here. Navel to spine on the exhale, and then bring the hand down and the knee down. Curl into your spine line, and I want you to go into an active child's pose. So what that means is you sit back towards your heels, it looks like child's pose, you let your head go, but you're still creating a little bit of effort from your pelvic floor. So you're drawing your navel in as if you're tucking the tailbone to enhance the stretch through the lower back. With the upper body, crawl your fingertips forward as high as you can, and if you want to go wider, you can also go wider, and get your shoulders way up into your ears. And what you want to feel with that is a stretch underneath the shoulder blades to the sides of the ribs. So we're going to use that stretch to practice a bigger breath into the rib cage. When you feel that stretch, where you feel it, I want you to puff up with your inhale. So specifically to the side ribs, expand out, inhale, huge dramatic breath. Then on your exhales, you let that go, let the neck go. So if we get tight here underneath the shoulders, we often hold a lot of tension on the back of the neck. Kind of go together. So you can use this to open, expand, big breath in, and then exhale, let the head go. We're going to hold that for 2 more breaths. If you want to keep it active, you can, or soften if that suits you for now. To reset, exhale, and 1 more breath here. Exhale all the air out. Good. Okay. Coming back up onto hands and knees and setting this up so that we can go into a plank. But we're going to make it a little tedious because why not? Come up on the hands and knees. Not too tedious. Okay, very controlled and stable. Your hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. All you want to establish is where we were before. So you're looking for head, neck, long, arms are straight. And you're going to keep your eyes on one spot on the floor. Keep the stability through the shoulders. Take that right leg out to straight this time, hook the toe under on the floor. So you're gonna bring it down and you're actually gonna load that leg. Good. Now keep the shoulders steady. Take the left leg out with it so you're in a full plank. So if that makes more sense of where you're going, perfect. Okay, looking good. Now, let's make the transition part of the exercise. You've got your shoulders steady. Without a lot of movement through the shoulders, bring the right knee back down, bring the left knee back down, and then you're gonna take the left leg out, so you're basically just alternating through that. Kind of like a walking plank. Left leg out, right leg out, left knee down, right knee down. Go at whatever pace, alternating which side leads it. And then know that you're looking for the stability through the upper body. So whether your knees are down or your legs are straight, you've got your arms strong, your head and neck elongated. There's not a lot of wobble through the head. Right leg, right knee down, left knee down. The next one we're gonna hold it. So let's go up and hold and pause here. Now, planks are hard. Let's make them a little more challenging. Hips a little higher, hold it. There we go, a little higher, hold. Soften your knees, just micro bend. Squeeze the feet towards each other. Pull your hands towards your feet without moving, traction, and hold that for 10 seconds. Pull up, breathe big through the back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pike it to a down dog, and just do whatever you want here. If you want to bend both knees, if you want to pedal it out, just let this be very enjoyable, like a reset. And then letting your hips move side to side. And we'll just take a moment again to let that drop. And then all together, bring it back, have both legs straight, bend both knees. You're gonna go back up into your downward dog. Bend both knees for a moment, and then push your butt up and drop your heels lower. Yeah. Ooh, we got some bendy spine here. Knees straight. Good, hold it there, one more breath. Okay, forward to your plank. Let's take it to a child's pose just for a moment. Sit back towards the heels, drop the head. If you have a ton of energy to charge out of your body, feel free to stay in a plank this whole time, whatever works for you. All right, so we're gonna set up for a variation on lizard reaches, one of my favorites. Okay, come back up into your plank, but it's just for a transition. So we're gonna come up onto hands and knees, find a straight line, lift your butt up, push the floor away. Now we're gonna take this left foot and bring it outside of the left hand. So you want it to go wide. There you go. This one you can translate to what works for you. So the foot needs to be wide, you could let the toe turn out. We're gonna take, so Megan's pretty far, she has a lot of flexibility in her hips here. I would actually bring it back a little bit more, there you go, so that you're not at your extreme of your range of motion on the hip flexor. Let's take the left arm up to the ceiling and reach and twist open to the left. So you're gonna reach up high, perfect. Lift the hips a little higher as you get into this, make them more buoyant. You're gonna bring that hand to your ear, exhale, contract, and bring your elbow down inside of your foot. So you're pulling down towards the floor. Does that make sense? Inside the foot.
I don't get it.
Yeah, there you go, perfect. Yeah, you got it. Inhale, arm goes up to the ceiling, reach straight with the arm. And then exhale, hand to the ear, pull that back down. Good, perfect. Inhale up, lift the hips a little higher as you go up. Exhale, pull the hips a little lower as you bring it down. And do that one more time. Inhale, go up, reach high, elevate the hips. Exhale, bring that all the way back down. Now we're gonna pause here. Bring yourself back to level. The hand is gonna go straight down inside of the foot. Bring your back knee down. Allow that to just drop. Push your left shoulder against your left knee. And now you're gonna inhale, open up towards the right. So open, stretch. Good. Exhale, contract, and thread that arm through underneath the left leg. Do that a few more times. Use your arm, your shoulder, the left shoulder, as leverage to open up the inner left thigh, but you're also using it as leverage to open the chest. So you're gonna open up, big stretch across the chest, push that knee away. Exhale, take it through. Perfect. One more time, open. Exhale, take it through. Okay, bring that hand down. We're gonna take it back to a plank, so lift the back knee up. Take your left foot back, downward dog for a breath. Drop the head, neck, and shoulders. Let it be whatever it needs to be for about 10 seconds here. And shifting forward up onto plank position again. We'll do that on the other side. I like that I'm peeking right over your butt at the camera. I'm like, hi, come forward to plank. Sorry. And then left foot goes forward outside of the, right foot goes forward outside of the right hand. Alrighty. Once you get that, right arm goes to the ceiling, open up, reach high, kind of make it buoyant, lift a little. Exhale, hand to the ear, contract and pull inside of that foot. Good. Keep going, about 4 more. This would be a movement where you allow it to be used as you need it. So if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, it feels really good to get low in the hip and I want to push my knee out and it hits some spots that feel kind of congested, expand that bigger, make it more dramatic. If your arm just wants to open and broaden and stretch, if all of that needs to happen, layer it in. One more time. Inhale, go up, reach high to the ceiling. Exhale, pull that down. And you're going to come down, finish that one, perfect. Now bring your hand down inside of the foot. Your back knee will go to the floor. And we're going to go the other way. So this one can be a little more wobbly. You want to straighten your right arm inside of that leg. Inhale, open up to the left. Good. Exhale, thread through, wrap under. You got it. Inhale, open to the left. Make adjustments. If you feel like your back knee is kind of narrow or you're on a tightrope, widen it. Inhale, open up. Exhale and contract through. All right, one more time. Inhale, open up. Exhale and contract through. Okay, take that hand down. We're gonna find a plank. We're gonna find a downward dog. Pike the hips and let your head drop. But this time, you'll walk your hands back to your feet. As you get to your feet, end up in a ragdoll forward fold. So just bend the knees. You can hold opposite elbows if you'd like. Drop a little bit side to side. Let the back of the neck relax. Good. Okay, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Broaden the chest. And you're just going to take it back down to the mat. Have that moment of standing, opening. Bring yourself into your forward fold once again and walk yourself all the way out to plank. Get into that strong plank. Holding when you're ready. Keeping the upper body strong, push down. This time, elevate the hips so they're up in line with your shoulders. Keep going a little bit more. So basically, your spine is parallel with the floor. We're going to keep that strong and alternate, kicking the right leg up. Exhale, just knee straight, kick the foot. There you go. Bring it down. Switch to the left. Exhale, bring it down. Continue to alternate. Everything that's not moving isn't moving. So it's super solid through the shoulders. Extend through the hip. Lift and down. You've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees down. Child's pose, take a breath. Okay. We're going to come down to lying on the stomach and just stack your hands underneath the forehead. All right, I'm going to have you slide back a couple of inches towards your feet, just so I think that you're visible. Yeah. Okay, so hands are stacked underneath the forehead, elbows wide, just drop. Take a big breath in, could be a belly breath where you push into the mat a little, inhale. Exhale, let your body relax. This is a good spot to inch the hips farther away from the rib cage so you can walk one leg out, the other leg out, or if it's better to walk one shoulder, the other shoulder, just get that space to open up. All right, T. So when we work into the back of the body, you want to be especially mindful to draw the abdominals in because what we want to avoid is overextension of the lower back. We want to emphasize more through the upper back, opening the chest. So it can help in this position to push the thighs down gently. You'll feel your hips maybe elevate or just lighten on the mat, and then find your pelvic tuck that we practiced initially where you draw your navel in, pull the low belly in. Just enough that you're creating space through the low back. Okay, so once you have that set, you're going to keep your hands attached to the forehead where they are, narrow the feet, and just keep the legs active for now on the floor. On your exhale, hands stay attached to the forehead, lift the chest, forehead, forearms up. inhale and lower down. And change the breath to what works for you on this one. So if you feel better inhaling up, go for it. We're probably going to repeat this about 5 or 6 more times. So at your own pace, go ahead and lift up and lower down. Now I like to exhale lift personally because that feels more connected to the abdominals for me. So when you exhale, whether you're inhaling or exhaling up, make sure you're not pushing the belly forward. Lift and lower. Good. Just a little slower and not as high. So go ahead and lift up and lower down. We're going to emphasize more length versus height on this one. One more time, lift and lower. Okay, so now we're coming up and we're going to hold it. We're going to lift the chest, hover and hold. Lift the legs, straight legs, pause. Pull the low belly in. Remember, length versus going as high as you can get. Bring your elbows to your side ribs, hands by your shoulders, so it's short wing position. You're going to tighten that in right into your sides. Hands right up by your shoulders here. Open the fingertips up, super strong with the hands. Inhale, reach your arms straight forward. Exhale, make fists and pull back right to where they were. Good. Keep going with that. Inhale, reach forward, strong, kind of crazy looking with your fingers. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, draw the shoulders down. 5 more times with that. Think of it that the more energy you add through the hands, the more work strengthening you're creating for the shoulders. So should feel pretty good. You're lighting up all the way out through the arm. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull back in. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull back in, hold. Lift the chest a little higher. Hands go back underneath the forehead. And then just lower yourself down. Let it go. 2 or 3 breaths here. Soften it up. Inhale. Exhale, let yourself drop. And one more breath. Okay. So we're going to lift up into the same position, but this time I'm going to suggest that you bring your feet together, knees together. So bring them together here, legs straight. If it's too intense on the lower back to keep that connection, let your feet separate, but try to keep them narrow. Okay, we're going to lift the chest, lift the forearms, and lift the legs. And you can take your arms right out to a T. So reaching out, low hover, and hold. Pull the ribs up. You could probably lift a little higher. Fingertips reaching. On your inhale, reach the hands back to the hips, lift the chest higher. Exhale, arms to a T, hover. Good. Inhale, reach back, lift higher. Exhale to a T, hover. Keep going. Let's maintain palms facing the floor the whole time. And out to a T, hover, and then tuck the chin just gently. Lift up, good, and out to a T. We're going to go back one more time and hold, because Megan is listening to my cues so well that I need to cue better. Lift the head up a little higher. So what you want to find, you can look forward gently, is that the neck is long on all sides. So you don't want to tuck in completely. I did say that, but it's neutral. You also don't want to overextend. You're just keeping that long to feel better extension through the upper back. Let's just hold this for 5 more counts since we've already been here for a bit. Straighten the arms, open the chest. Take a breath in, exhale. And just bring your hands underneath the forehead and drop down. Let yourself relax. A couple of deep breaths in. All right. Now we are going to come up onto the forearms and do a short forearm plank. Let's do hands interlaced together or palms facing each other, and just have your elbows directly underneath the shoulders. Make sure they're not too far forward for this one. Hook the toes under, press down into the forearms, and come up into your forearm plank. So lift up and hold. Point the nose straight at the hands, and then once you have your nose pointed down, just a little bit more, tuck the chin, there you go. Push the base of the skull gently to the ceiling. You want to feel the front of your neck, the front of the throat, without lifting the hips higher. So you're going to go back to your plank. Yeah, that's perfect. But you just push up here without overextending at the neck. You want to feel the front of the neck engage here. You're just holding. You're going to squeeze your points together, meaning you're pulling your elbows towards your feet, feet towards each other, elbows towards each other, drawing it all in, pull the navel in. Hips stay steady. I want you to bend the right knee, tap the floor, exhale. And you're actually just going to keep your foot there, and then bend the left knee. Yeah, it's kind of like you're just breaking the chain to challenge your pelvis. There you go. Alternate and lift. Tap and lift. Go for 5 and 4. I like an exhale as I bend, inhale as I straighten. 3, 2, one more time, left, straighten, hold it, take a breath, lift the hips a little higher, not so high, hold it there, and then tap both knees for 4, up, and 3, keep going, 2, and 1. Okay, knees down, hands stack underneath the forehead. Drop down, relax. I'm like, let's hold this for 2 minutes while I really describe the entire movement, and you just have to stay there. Okay, child's pose, sit back, take a breath in when you're ready. Just sit back, and let's do wide knees, feet together, and just drop into it. If you want to stack your hands underneath your forehead, you can also do that. Good. Okay. We're going to go on to a little side work here. So, let's see how I will best set this up. I'm going to have you come down onto your right side first. So you'll come down onto your elbow like this, and we're just going to hold this position, and then I'll set you up from the other side. I'm just trying to think of what angle to go to. So shoulder is right over the elbow, knees are bent, they are slightly forward of your hips. This is a lot of bang for your buck, this next one. You're going to work a lot of parts of your body, is what I mean there. Okay, so come down onto your elbow, knees are stacked, and the most important part to this, to avoid injury especially, is to not let your shoulder lose its integrity. So we're going to have movement through the lower body, but right here I would make sure that the elbow is right underneath the shoulder, so a little closer in, and you press down to feel your lat engaged. You're going to come up into what's a modified plank, so go ahead and lift the hips up and hold. Where she has her left hand is perfect. Right by the other hand, it's kind of like a kickstand there. Hold, bend your knees a little bit more so the feet are back. In case I didn't make that clear, your knees are bent and the feet are back. Okay, come up, hold it here. Now, you're going to take your left leg straight out and hold it. Keep the leg a little higher. Rotate your hips slightly towards the floor, chest slightly towards the floor. Keep the integrity on the right shoulder. From the hip, lower the hips down towards the floor 1 inch, exhale, up. So the movement is from this bottom right hip down and up. Don't let the shoulder move. Push more here. Lift out of the shoulder. Yes. Down and up. Try not to let that shoulder move. Keep it steady. Last 3. Lift. 2. Lift. 1. Hold it. Stay here. Flex your left foot. Last little bit. Lower and lift this left leg for 8. All the way up. All the way down, tap the floor. All the way up. All the way down. Flex that left foot pretty hard. It's like adding a weight to it. 5. Down. 4. 3, keep the pelvis rotated towards the floor. 2, and 1. Okay, take a break. Drop down.
That's hard.
Yeah. Bang for your buck is what we call it. Or, it's a multitasker. Let's come up and do mermaid stretch. So bend your knees just how you are in side bend. So you actually just come up and hold onto your left shin, reach over with the right, open that up. Whatever way you want to, you can rotate down, look under. Nice little mermaid there. Switch it around to the other side. Okay, so setting up on your forearm, and I'll give you a heads up, the second side is a little harder because you're working very similar aspects of the body, so maintain the integrity to the form. Elbows down, lift the hips, hold when you get there. You want to rotate slightly towards the floor because we don't want to overwork the back of the body. Yes. Now, take that right leg out to straight. That just goes along for the ride. Keep the shoulders steady. Hips go down towards the floor. Keyword towards. It doesn't have to go anywhere near the floor. It could be an inch. You could be lowering all the way down. What you're not doing is mobilizing the shoulder. Now, lengthen your neck so it feels easy for you around the neck. There you go. Lifting up, down. We're going for 8 here on each exercise. For each side. So 3 more, 2 more, 1, hold it up, flex that foot, it's strong with the flexion, tap the floor, inhale, exhale, lift, 8. And 7, you could go a little quicker, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it down, take a rest. Good. Mermaid stretch on that side, so you're just gonna come up and reach over, pull onto the shin, stretch in whatever way works for you there, and take a breath in. Okay, good. Almost done with this part. So let's come down, actually go to seated on your mat. So you're gonna sit so that you have plenty of space behind you. Pretty much right where you are should work. And you're gonna plant your hands right behind the shoulders. So right here. Knees are going to bend, and your feet are about hip distance to mat distance, so you can adjust this to what works for you. My hands are behind my hips. You could also turn the fingertips out if that suits your shoulder better. Press into the palms, tuck the tailbone, and when you're ready, you're gonna push your hips up so you're in this reverse tabletop position. So hips go up, and then hips lower almost all the way to the floor. Exhale, push the hips up, extending through the hip flexor. Good. Inhale down. This looks awesome. Keep going. Full body here. So you want to make sure that your arms are strong, your chest is open, you've got your abdominals engaged to elongate through the front of the hip, not overextend the lower back. 2 more on this one. Pushing up and down. 1 more time. Push up and hold it. And just hold this for 5, 4. Open the chest. 3, 2, 1. Place the hips down. Round over the legs and just straighten the legs out. Holding there, take a breath in. We're going to set up for roll-ups. Okay, so toes are pointed, legs are straight, arms are going to go forward. I want you to sit tall first, so you're going to lift up and take your arms out so that they're parallel to the floor. And then lift the sternum up high, broaden across the chest. You'll keep your gaze on the horizon, the arms on the horizon. Point the toes, and on your exhale, tuck the pelvis and start to roll back. Think of it going about 1/3 of the way back, halfway. Right there is perfect. Take a hold on your inhale. Exhale, curl forward, but draw your navel in as you do, and you're going to round over into what's called a C curve. So instead of letting the hands go down, we'll keep the arms active and elevated. So go ahead and contract and curl forward. C curves are really excellent to practice because you're going to round over a little bit more, round your upper back, drop the chin. The idea here is you've got energy charging through fingertips and toes forward and through the top of the head, but it's opposition, so you're reaching out and you're pulling back, reaching and elongating the body. Then you translate that back into the roll back. Perfect. Hold and then go forward. So I'll let this flow a little more. I feel like I'm making it kind of janky, but exhale, roll back. You'll take that inhale, pause, exhale, curl forward and over. Inhale, exhale, roll back. Now, this range of motion is perfect, and you can stick with that. If you want to try full roll-up, you'll roll all the way down to the head. So if you want to go for that, rolling down slowly, all the way down, perfect. Reach the arms back, let the head go. Inhale, exhale, and curl forward, slow and steady, rounding over. Yeah! That's almost what we call a teaser. So go ahead and curl forward. Now, if roll-ups aren't happening for you today, and it can be a day-to-day thing, take it back to the degree that you can hold your stability. So rolling back, let's roll back and see where she is. And feel free to go for your full roll up if you've got it. This is perfect for her. And then you're gonna curl forward and over. Inhale, exhale, roll back. So just bringing it back around and keep going about 3 more times. Momentum isn't necessarily control because you can't really pause through any point of it and hold that steady form. So have that in mind because it's so easy to just want to toss yourself through these to get the movement. Work with where you are today to keep that articulation going forward and over. We're going to roll all the way down to the head, so if you're concerned about coming back up, you're not going to right now, just go ahead and roll back. Good. Press your hands down to the hips. All right. You can slide so your head's on the mat if you want. And bend the knees, feet are flat. Knees and feet together. We're going to go into one more bridge sequence. So, arms are going down to the sides. Go into a pelvic curl. Tuck the tailbone, articulate up. You got it, rolling all the way up. Holding high. You want to make sure your abdominals are engaged. You're going to lift your right leg up into tabletop and then reach that leg straight to the ceiling. Point that toe, you got it, straight up and hold. Doing kicks on this leg. Point the toe, kick it down, inhale. Flex the foot, exhale, lift it back up. Inhale, point the toe down, leading with the toe. Exhale, lift up. You've got 6 more kicks here, so we're going for 8 total. Keep your pelvis steady. All sorts of wobbliness will want to happen. Keep the standing knee steady and lift. Even though you're mobilizing the right leg, it's about those stability points. Standing leg, pelvis, shoulders, head and neck. One more time here. Hold it. Heels on the ceiling. Pulse the heel up for 5, lifting the hips higher. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee. Place your foot down, level out the hips, roll down through the spine line, and all the way down. Inhale. We're going to do that on the other side. And on your exhale, roll up. All right. We're going to roll back down slowly just to do that a little differently. So when you roll up, and even if you came up and you feel solid, this is so good to note, make sure you articulate. It's not always necessary, but it can be really helpful to find the length through the lower back. So tuck the tailbone under and just articulate back up. Yeah. And hopefully what that sets you up with is the wrapping in from the abdominal wall and not the overextension. Okay, left leg up tabletop, then left leg to the ceiling, reach through the toe. You're gonna kick that leg down, inhale. Exhale, flex the foot, lift up. Point the toe down, inhale. Exhale, flex, lift up. And you've got 6 more. To the best of your ability, keep your hips steady. Keep the standing right leg steady. Lift. And 4. Exhale, up. 3. Your arms can be a strong participant, press them back, or keep it light. You choose. Last 2. Last 1. And you'll place that foot down. Oh, I forgot. Lift the leg up, hold it, pulse the heel to the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the foot down, roll down through the spine line. Perfect. Knees into the chest. A little bit of a rock side to side there. Okay. Let's go into figure 4 stretch. So you can start by just placing your right foot down on the floor and crossing your left ankle over that thigh. So you're going to take it over, yeah. And then hold on to your left thigh. So we have right ankle over left thigh, and then go ahead and pick up your left leg and pull that in. Stretching your outer right hip. Points that you could check. Flexing the right foot's going to help stabilize the knees so you get a better hip stretch. If you feel your pelvis lift off of the floor, you want to let your pelvis drop. And then also, if you notice that your chin juts up towards the ceiling, try to let that soften in. And then see how far you can take the stretch. While you're holding this, add a very subtle rock side to side, only to soften into opening the hip. So you don't want to bounce in and out of it. You have to discern between the two, but just allow it to maybe be a little more enjoyable. Okay, let's switch sides on that. Crossing left ankle over the right thigh and pull on in. Good. And then you can flex your left ankle. You can do a little rock side to side, loosen up. This is the point of this session where I'm just hoping that you can hear me and that it's still recording. Good. Okay, we're going to bring the feet back to the floor. Have your knees bent, feet flat. Take your arms out to a Y shape, palms up. Make sure that feels good. You can go wider, narrower. Inch your feet out so that they're as wide as the mat. And you're going to let both knees go over to your left. Holding here. We're going for a stretch on the front of the right body. So if you'd like, you could take your left foot on top of the right knee as a weight to encourage a deeper stretch. You don't have to add that. And you're emphasizing the right arm reaching. Now, this is perfect where it is here. If you want to emphasize more of a hip stretch, or if you feel your lower back is overarching, add a small pelvic tuck. Even just the energy of that, you'll feel gives you more expansion through the hip. And then a nice deep breath in. And letting that drop. So we're moving the foot off of the knee if you have it there, and have the feet as wide as the mat, roll them up and over towards the right and drop. Maybe you just hang here, or you can take your right foot on top of that thigh, knee, and just let that open. And checking in on if each side feels the same. different. You don't necessarily have to do anything with that information, but it's helpful to be present and see what's going on today in your body. Just also with this stretch, if you feel like widening the feet more or narrowing them more bend in the knee, you can add it however you'd like. Okay, let's bring that back to center and just take your legs out to straight again, kind of similar to how we started. Arms can go down to the sides, just as when we started. If you want to find a different position to just settle into, we're just going to take a couple breaths here. So letting your legs relax and letting your shoulders relax. It's a good spot to check in if you notice anything different in your body. If there's tension that's being held that isn't necessary right now, maybe you're on the jaw or the eyes, just soften and let yourself drop. Saying just soften isn't always helpful. If it's a tense point, that's probably for good reason. So other ideas you can add in to try to relax tension would be tightening that area for a moment and then letting it be heavy, breathing deeply like you're inhaling towards that area of your body, exhaling to imagine the tissues relaxing. But right here, you're just intending that energy is moving freely through your body with ease. If you feel like there's any points of stagnation around any point, even if it's just on the surface, on your skin, let that expand. I'm just going to take 2 more breaths. You can close your eyes, soften around the ears, around the forehead, the eyebrows, letting that drop back. And 1 more breath here. Reach your arms overhead. Nice stretch, reaching out, fingertips and toes. And then pull your knees right into the chest. Little rock side to side. When you're ready, a little rock up and down. And that's all. All right. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.